Well, thank you for your patience, everyone. I just have a couple more people that we're letting in. Perfect. I think we'll get started. Thank you for joining us tonight and taking time out of your evening. My name is Jody Deitz. I'm the principal of Lakewood Early Childhood Center. And on my screen, hopefully everyone can see it okay, I have just an agenda as we lead through the night. Hopefully I don't take up too much of your time, but give you some information that maybe will put your mind at ease a little bit on what our face-to-face instruction will look like this year and a little bit about our remote plan. One thing I use often throughout the school year is LECC. You'll see that acronym. That stands for Lakewood Early Childhood Center. So you might hear me say that a lot this evening. That's what LECC means. And I'm just letting in a few more people. All right, so basically setting the norms for our Zoom meeting tonight, everyone is on mute, so I've done that. And that just kind of eliminates the background noise. And then there's a chat box. On my screen, it's in the bottom. But as I kind of go through some things and share what our staff has planned for this year, if you have any questions, feel free to put it in the chat box. And then I will answer that at the end of the presentation. And then our meeting is being recorded, and I will share that out with the agenda tomorrow. I'll have Mrs. Reuter email it out like she did with the Zoom link yesterday afternoon. Okay, so the next thing on our agenda is our Return to Learn plan. And I just kind of want to walk you through that a little bit. Maybe you saw it on our Facebook page, or maybe you saw it through a Honeywell alert. I know a lot of our families aren't hooked up with Honeywell unless they have an older sibling in the district. But basically, it kind of illustrates what a day looks like at LECC. And I'm not going to read every bullet point, but I do want to highlight the overarching key points just to kind of paint that picture a little bit better. For arrival, the doors open in the morning at 8:47. 8:47, I believe. And if your student is riding the bus, they will have their temperature taken on the bus as they enter or as they get on each morning. And then we're going to keep families together on the bus. So siblings that ride will sit together, and windows will be open to create some fresh air throughout the bus. Then, as if you're dropping off your child in the morning, you'll drop them off in front of the building. And that's kind of our normal protocol, our normal procedure. We'll have a staff member outside to help with those that need help getting out of the car. And then there will be 2 staff members at the main entrance taking students' temperatures as they enter the building each morning. Then for departure, we will have our teachers will dismiss students out to the buses each day. At the end of the day, we dismiss at 3:45. And then for those that are getting picked up, if you plan on picking up your child, we'll have 2 paras that will be assigned, like one para might be assigned to 3 classes, the other para might be assigned to 4 classes. They'll pick up those students and take them down to the central office vestibule. They'll social distance in the hallway, and we'll have 1 para waiting at the doorway right by central office. Parents will park in that parking lot off of Franklin, and they will walk to the central office door, social distance along the way, and they will tell that para who they're picking up. They'll show their ID so we can verify to the backpack tag that is who they say they are. And we will radio your child if need be, if they're in a different hallway, and then you will get your child and you can walk back to the parking lot. For meals, breakfast, and lunch will be served in the classroom. And then we will wash hands before we eat all of our meals. And then social emotional support. This is a big one going into this year for both our students and our staff. Google Classroom for teachers to access tools, materials, lessons, classroom activities, and new referral forms for students in need. We'll have support from the right door the first few days of the school year. Classroom lessons with Second Steps curriculum, and we kind of played with that a little bit last year. We implemented or using that resource, and we're going to make sure that all of our students receive second steps this year. And then we'll have daily physical and emotional health checks in with the staff, and we'll have calming corners in each classroom. So then for recess in physical education, students are going to have recess after lunch each day. So if you had a student at LECC last year, we went to recess first and then we went to lunch. So this year we just flip-flopped it around. We'll wash our hands, we'll have lunch in the classroom, and then they'll go out to recess. For first lunch recess, we'll have 4 classes outside, and second lunch recess, we will have 3. Students will wear their masks out in the hallway, and once they're outside, they can take their mask off. Masks will be attached to a lanyard, and if another student pulls that lanyard, it won't choke them because it breaks apart. And then while they're playing outside, they can put their mask in their shirt so it's not flying all around. And we're going to try to keep our classes together as much in pods as we can. We've also divided the recess or playground into 7 stations. So let's say if Mrs. Cohen's class is on the slide structure for lunch recess, she's also going to be on the slide structure for last recess. So the classes will stay at the same station for both lunch recess and last recess. All 7 classes will be going out for last recess at the same time. However, they'll stay with their class and they will not have to wear masks during that time. Then for specials. So specials are like art, music, and gym. Our students receive a special each day for 50 minutes. So they'll go to Miss Heinze in the Rainbow Room for art and music, and they visit her class 3 times a week. And then they will also visit gym or PE with Mrs. Erickson 2 days a week. And Mrs. Erickson's going to hold gym outside as much as she can, with the weather being nice. And then this year, we were intentional with our special schedule. We created a schedule where Miss Heinze has 5 minutes in between each class to disinfect the tables to get ready for the next class. And each student is going to have a toolkit with their own supplies, like crayons, pencil, scissors, etc. And they're going to take that toolkit with them to Miss Heinze's in Rainbow Room so they can use their own supplies. Then for building access and spacing, we will be social distancing as much as possible throughout the school day. And then teachers have really created a classroom with creativity to promote as much social, as much spacing as they can. And so normally with circle tables or tables put together to form a circle, they've separated them so all of the tables are facing forward, and most of the tables have a student on each end facing the same direction. In the classrooms, our students won't necessarily have to wear masks all day. However, there may be a time that a teacher has the students put on a mask if they're working with a small group or if they're in close proximity with their classmates at a certain point in the day. And then just kind of our schedule for the day, our start time, and when the doors open at 8:47, our school day starts at 8:57, and then we dismiss at 3:45 at the end of the day. And it has some lunch schedules and different things. So that's our return to school plan. And now I want to go back to our agenda. Our staff, you probably saw an arrival video that was shared. We're also going to create a dismissal video and a virtual tour of LECC. Unfortunately, we're not holding the traditional orientation where you come in and fill out all the forms and teachers share a presentation with you, and it's a nice evening to meet the teacher. So we're going to do something a little bit different, and we'll create the videos and share those out next week. But for the first 2 weeks of school, we are going to have half days. And so those half days, we're really going to focus on those procedures and protocols to enforce safety procedures within the school. So on Monday, if your child is in Kinderstart or in first grade or third, so think of it as odd for elementary level, they will have their first day of school. And then on Tuesday, kindergarten and then second and fourth will have their first day of school. This schedule really creates, since we're parents aren't coming in on the first day of school or this school year to help their kids get to their classrooms, this schedule really helps with having our staff. So if kinder start, their first day is on Monday, the kindergarten staff and all of our support staff can really help those littles find their way to their classroom. Hopefully the videos will help too, but we will have staff on hand because I know I'm a parent. It's going to be hard when you have to drop off your child and there will be a staff member out on this, on the sidewalk greeting them. But that's a hard feeling, but just know we're here to support them. And we will make the best of that. So Monday and Wednesday, kinder start, first and third will have their school and it'll be a half day. So they'll stay home on Tuesday and Thursday. On Tuesday and Thursday, kindergarten will attend school. They'll stay home on Monday and Wednesday. Then on Friday, all of our students come to school. And the following week, all of our students come to school. So for the first 2 weeks up until Labor Day, we have a half day. Then our goal in the office is to have our class list ready by Monday, August 17th. So we're really working hard on creating those classes. For those of you that completed this survey, thank you very much. And maybe after tonight, if you haven't completed the survey, whether your child's going to go face-to-face or remote, hopefully this is informative and helps you to make a decision, because I know it's probably not an easy one to make. Then allergies. If your child has any kind of allergy with food or bees that are life-threatening, please email Angela Reuter, our secretary, so we can schedule a meeting, whether it be through Zoom or in person or over the phone, to create a plan for your child so our staff knows what to be on the lookout for. And then our drinking fountains are going to be unplugged this year. So we recommend that your child brings a water bottle each day. And we're even looking to possibly purchase a water bottle for all of our students so they have one. And then they can fill up their water bottle at school, and we will wash them in the kitchen using the dishwasher. So the water bottles would stay here. And maybe if, just in the chat box, if you wouldn't mind saying yes to providing water bottles or no, maybe that's something you wouldn't be interested in, that would be good feedback for our staff on whether we should purchase those or not. Then for masks, our staff will be wearing a mask all day long, every day, and our students will wear them on the bus in the morning. They'll wear them in the hallway. They'll wear them sometimes in the classroom, depending on the activity, and that's up to the teacher's choice. And then they'll have them, like I said earlier, attached to a lanyard, and the lanyard will stay on their table each night so it's ready for them the next day to attach to their mask. And then we're asking that a clean mask comes to school each day with your child. So hopefully, and this is something that would be great to practice at home right now, practice your child wearing a mask for a little bit of time, especially if their bus ride is long. The hallway, they shouldn't have it on for very long, but probably the bus is going to be the longest time. If you're dropping them off, have the mask ready so when they get out of the car, they can put it on and enter the building wearing their mask. But that's something that you might want to find, a mask that's comfortable for them now. It would be great to have 5. And of course, if they don't, please reach out to the office. We can make arrangements so your child has a mask. And then we'll always have the disposable masks in the office too. Then the Ione County Health Department has a toolkit, and I'm holding it up. I don't know if you can see it because I'm probably pretty small, but I have provided the link. So when I share out this agenda tomorrow, I suggest that you really check that toolkit out. And on page 8, I believe it is, let me see. This is the graphic organizer that we're going to be using. And this is really going to answer all those what if questions. So I would really focus on this graphic organizer, and it would be helpful just to have somewhere, maybe on your fridge, or an easy access to refer to each day. But that is what our district will be using. All right, so moving on to important papers. Because we're not having that typical orientation, we're gonna do it on the first day, where we're gonna send those important papers home with your child, probably in some type of a folder, where there's a COVID, kind of a parent form that just has some expectations. I commit to screening my child. You're gonna sign your name, put your address, phone number, and then the date. That's just an agreement that you're going to go through this checklist with your child and kind of do your part at home by taking their temperature. If they have any signs, to keep them home. You know, our policy right now with fevers is that you're fever free without medicine for 24 hours. So please, you know, just kind of do your part, we'll do our part, and you can keep this checklist with the toolkit at home just for easy access for you to kind of look through each morning. But this parent screener will be sent back to school along with the emergency cards. Will also, and I'm sure there's other forms that the teachers will send home in that folder that they'll want back the next day that your child comes to school. So if they start on Monday as their first day, they'll want it back on Wednesday. If your child starts on Tuesday, they'll want the forms back on Thursday. Then meet the teacher Zoom. This is going to be a little bit just to kind of get that interaction and start building those relationships. Teachers are going to reach out to their classes to have a meet the teacher Zoom, just to start connecting with their kiddos. And they will share that invite with you probably sometime next week. And then our class orientation. That's going to take place after school. So we're going to hold that on September 10th. It'll be virtual, and teachers will share that information on what time they hold it that night. But with things rapidly changing due to our current situation, your child's teacher may change within the 2 weeks, depending on, you know, who actually comes to school. If I can't get a hold of everybody and I don't know if they're selecting in person or remote. So there is that possibility that changes may happen. So we're going to hold the orientation after class lists have been finalized. All right, so then on to our remote learning. Miss Ersch is going to be our remote teacher for kindergarten. And she is putting together a survey for her families that have selected remote, just to kind of get their feedback. And she will be sending that survey out next week. And we're still setting up, we're still planning as a team what that day will look like for her. But it'll be something probably connecting 3 times on Zoom, do a little mini lesson, a little instruction. It could be a video, and then some practice that the students will do at home, and then they'll connect back on a Zoom. But as we finalize that information, it will be shared with those families that are selecting remote. And then obviously here's that link. The link was shared to you. That's where you choose whether you're gonna choose in person, face-to-face, or if you're going to select the remote learning. And then obviously if you have any questions ever, feel free to email me at dykesj@lakewoodps.org or call me at LECC, and there's the phone number there. I'm always available if you have any questions, comments, and concerns. I'm happy to talk through anything with you to help if you're struggling making a decision. And so that kind of concludes our night for our meeting. And is there anyone that has any questions? Where's my chat box?
Do you want me to read them?
Yeah, that would be great. Mrs. Cohen's in my office too, and she's going to kindly read the questions to me.
Can you go over the half-day schedule again?
Yes.
Half-day for everyone on Fridays.
Yes. The half-day schedule, it seems a little bit confusing. But basically, if you have a Kinderstart kiddo, their first day is that Monday. And then they stay home on Tuesday. Then they go to school on Wednesday. Then they stay home on Thursday. And then they go to school on Friday with everyone else. And it's only for a half day for those first 9 days of school. up until Labor Day, because we have that Friday before Labor Day off. Then to look at it as I have a student in kindergarten. That child's first day will be Tuesday, the 25th. They'll stay home Monday. So they'll have school on Tuesday for the first day. They'll stay home on Wednesday. And then they'll have their second day of school on Thursday. And then everyone comes to school on Friday and the following 4 days. Hopefully that makes.
Is that for the elementary school as well?
I'm gonna stick with, I did talk to Mr. Carpenter a little bit today, but I think we're on the same page and he'll have some information too.
Is there going to be a transfer bus from the elementary still?
I believe, and so that, okay, the question was, is there going to be a bus from LES to LECC for transfer? And I'm assuming if I have a student attending LES, but I'm going to pick up from LECC, I'm going to guess that yes, I will check with transportation and I will add that to our agenda. And so when I email this out tomorrow, hopefully I can answer that question. So LES transfer bus.
Can we wash up after eating also?
That's a great question. And I don't see why we couldn't before we go out to recess. Yeah, so we can, I don't know if you guys can hear Mrs. Cohen ask the questions, but the question was, can we wash up after lunch before we go out to recess? I think that's a great idea. And it will be the paras that are in the classroom overseeing the lunch. So teachers could probably have their students have their hand washed before lunch, and then paras could have their hands washed after lunch. And that will help with allergies too, headed out to the playground. Great question.
What days is ECSE
ECSE isn't attending until 2 weeks after school starts. I don't have the exact date on me, but they attend, oh, Miss Kirkendall, show me again.
The 8th after Labor Day?
The 8th, it's the 8th after Labor Day, September 8th. And they attend Monday through Friday, 5 days a week for a half of a day. And it's looking like a morning session right now.
Is there an option for ECSE class on the survey? Are they doing remote?
ECSE, if you're familiar with that, and actually I could probably, if you wanted to reach out to me with specific ECSE questions, that would,
Write down her name and then we can contact her.
okay. Mrs. Cohen's gonna write you down your name and I'll contact you tomorrow.
Do we have to provide the lanyard for our student?
Okay, the question was, do you have to provide the lanyard? No, you do not. Mrs. Deitz already bought the lanyards and the teachers already have them.
Is there any idea what the remote is going to look like?
The question was, what is remote going to look like? And, you know, we're going to try to make it the best that we can to a school day, but we're not going to expect a kindergartner to be online or, you know, virtual from the start of school, 8:47 to 3:45. So the thought, as Ms. Ersch and probably the whole team, our staff, because the reality is, you know, we're in phase 4 right now, but who knows how long phase 4 will last. And so really we need to be prepared for in case we go remote, whether it be one class or a whole school. So that's something that we're going to continue to collaborate around. And once we get a final, like a structure for the day for what a remote schedule will look like, that schedule will be shared. But I see it being like connecting maybe 3 different times on Zoom, doing a mini lesson, sharing some videos, having the students do a task, and then coming back on a later Zoom to connect. There will be more rigor where students will do assignments, whether it be on a Seesaw app, where a lot of our math assignments are already downloaded on the app, whether it be an assignment that maybe they take a picture and send it to the teacher. So we're still working on that, and I appreciate your patience. Once we have more concrete schedule, that will be shared out with our families, especially for those that are in the remote, they've already chosen it. And if you're still teetering-tottering on whether you want remote or in person, feel free to reach out to me tomorrow. I will be at school all day, and I would be happy to talk it through with you.
Confirm the first day of school, the 24th.
Yeah, that's important to know the first day of school, right? The first day of school is Monday, August 24th for Kinderstart and kindergarten, not our ECSE.
No, kindergarten.
Oh, sorry. Yes. Kindergarten is the 25th.
The survey for remote kindergarten, was that emailed or sent UPS or postal service?
Okay, so there was a flyer that central office sent out, whether, for the remote or the in-person instruction. That was sent out in mail. It was also Honeywelled out, I believe, and it's on Facebook. I do have the link here. However, Mrs. Reuter will be in tomorrow morning, and I'm going to have her email the agenda out first thing. So you may make your selection if you haven't yet by using the link in the agenda tomorrow by checking your email.
This question says, if we end up remote in KinderStart, do we go to kindergarten remote?
That's a great question. So if my child's in KinderStart, and let's say I'm in Mrs. Cohen's class, but all of a sudden we're going to remote instruction, so we're not going to school, your child would stay in Mrs. Cohen's KinderStart class. So she would create a schedule and do some interaction with her own class remotely.
When does GSRP start?
GSRP, from what I hear, they're starting October 1st. I haven't confirmed that with the director, but that's what I've heard. Once I know more, we can promote, we can, share or communicate that out. Whatever they share with me, usually I post on our Facebook page. So I know not everyone's on social media, but if you are, like Lakewood Early Childhood Center, because a lot of those updates and different types of communication are posted on our LECC Facebook page.
Can children wear the face shields instead of the masks?
Great question. So the face shields instead of the masks for staff and for children. And the answer is no. You cannot replace a face shield for the mask that goes around your nose and your mouth. We need to wear the mask around, it needs to cover your nose and your mouth for staff and students. If you want the face shield, you still have to wear the mask. So no, you can't just wear a face shield. And that's per the executive order.
Will virtual students be given a tablet?
So virtual students, we're calling remote students, given a tablet. And that's something that we're working with the tech department. So, and I referenced the survey that Ms. Ursch will be sending out. That is one of the questions. And I know it's been asked before on the first survey that our superintendent sent out, but this is really specific toward those students that are doing remote. Do you have a device will be one of the questions. What kind of device, and do you have internet? And then that'll help us to determine what we need from our tech department, because obviously I don't know that everyone will be accommodated with those, but we'll do our best to figure something out.
A couple questions, since you mentioned toolkits going to be recorded. Are there going to be supply lists?
Teachers, when they send out their letters, so the question was about supply lists. When they send out their letters, which hopefully our goal is that they go out on Monday, the 17th, they might put in some suggested items that they, like a wish list. And so you just look for that when you get your teacher's letter.
Can students wear the neck gaiters like
That's a great question on the neck gaiters. I know my son has one and he would rather wear the neck gaiter. It still covers the mouth and the nose. I don't see why you couldn't wear the neck gaiter, and then you can just kind of keep it around your neck when you're not wearing it. So my answer is yes. I'm gonna put a note though on here, the neck gaiter. If I find out different, you'll see it on the agenda for tomorrow when I send it out. Did I spell gaiter wrong? Okay, we'll keep going. Next question. That's it? Well, that was fun. Well, I appreciate everyone taking their time. Oh, Susie has a question.
I don't have a question. I just wanted to kind of elaborate on the whole supply thing.
Okay, go ahead, Susie.
Yeah. At LECC, we provide the crayons, the pencils, the scissors, the glue, the paper, all of those kinds of items. Really, the only things that we ask, and Angela, you can help out with this, because each teacher is a little bit different, but those basic supplies are supplied by school. But each teacher does ask for some things. I know we all ask for the kids to come with a backpack that's big enough to put their snow pants, their boots, their library books, their folders, that kind of stuff in it. That's kind of tricky to get a big enough backpack. Teachers might ask you to supply a couple of dry erase markers.
You muted her.
Ooh, 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 ooh.
What?
I'm sorry, Susie.
Oh, she's still muted.
There, okay. So it says I'm muted again.
You're
Am I-
not.
Okay.
You're good. Sorry about that.
Okay, no, that's all right. So, but like Mrs. Dite said, the letters that you get from the teachers will specify specific things that we ask for. And those are just, donations. And they're really things that the whole class uses, like maybe Clorox wipes or hand sanitizer, paper plates, paper bags, plastic bags, things like that that we just use a lot of in kindergarten. But as far as crayons, scissors, those toolboxes, we will fill those toolboxes that are used in the classroom, and then the kids will take those toolboxes to music and arts. So that's all. Just wanted to clarify.
And Mrs. Flesmer mentioned like hand sanitizer and some wipes. I know those are really hard to find right now, especially Clorox wipes or Lysol wipes. Our CSM, which is our cleaning crew, is providing each classroom like a spray bottle for the cleaner and some towels to clean down. And then our district, part of the personal protection equipment is the hand sanitizer. So we will have sanitizer throughout the school and every classroom will have it along with hand washing. So I really appreciate everyone taking the time. I don't know if there's any more questions or if any staff, any LECC staff that's on tonight wants to say anything. Feel free to unmute yourself.
We have 2 more questions again about those half-day schedules.
Okay.
Really confusing. So I don't know if we should put the date.
Would it help? Okay, let me go back to the schedule on the half day. So Monday, August 24th, and Wednesday, the 26th. So your child, if they are in Kinderstart, will attend that Monday, August 24th. They'll stay home Tuesday, so you'll need some kind of daycare unless you stay home. They'll go to school Wednesday, stay home on Thursday, and then go to school on Friday. And I probably need to add the Friday. And those are all half days right here, half days. Okay, then our next one is down here. So we have Tuesday, the 25th, and Thursday, the 27th. And that schedule, why I think it works for us is because we really have on that first day of school for our kinder starts. They haven't been in the building. I know it's going to be hard for probably some of them and for some of you. We have all of our kindergarten staff, so that's 5 teachers, paras, and other hands on deck to help those our little bikes get to their classrooms. And so that's going to be really helpful, that setup, that schedule for the first week of school. And then on Tuesday, August 25th, is when our kindergartners have their first day. So just like we helped with our staff, that Kinderstart staff, our paras, and other staff on hand will help our kindergartners get to class. And so really when you think of it, when you come in the building and that virtual tour that we're gonna make next week as a staff, when you come in the main entrance, our Kinderstart goes left, our kindergartners go right. And then every class has a classroom color, and that's kind of what they go by. So there's like a pom-pom hanging above, and I'm sure when you see some videos from your teacher, they'll go over that and they'll show what that looks like. Any other questions?
Is the remote kindergarten starting on the 25th as well?
Yes, it is. That remote class will start on the 25th, and that will just be a time, just like we're doing, to kind of go over those routines and procedures for what remote will look like. And then it will also be a time to start building those relationships with students, because that's super important to start off on that first day of school.
What is the start and end time for half?
The start and end time for a half day. So it starts at, it's on my roadmap, thank you. It starts at 8:57, so 8:47 is when the doors open. 8:57 is when students are in class, and the end of the day for a half day is 12:12. So that's a great, well, that might help if I put it on here, right? So I'm gonna put Kinder Start and kindergarten attend on Friday, August 28th. And dismissal 12:12.
And then we need to put that second week of
Okay, I appreciate you guys all sticking with me. Okay, hopefully that helps a little bit. If there's still confusion, feel free to call the office tomorrow and Mrs. Reuter or myself can explain it. But that is tricky. But that schedule really does help our littles their first day of school, actually first 2 days of school. Any other questions?
In the event a family member of an LECC student tests positive, who does the family contact to report the exposure?
Again, this is kind of our roadmap that we're gonna use from the Ionia toolkit. So I really am gonna reference that, but always call the office if you have something to report to. So call our office, call Mrs. Reuter or Mrs. Deitz. Any questions? That's it? Well, thank you for your time. It took about 40 minutes and this was recorded. So I will share it out tomorrow in an email along with the agenda. And again, you have the toolkit on here that I want. You can print it off or reference it. And then also my email or Mrs. Reuter's for any allergies. So we can get that on a radar before the first day of school. And I appreciate everyone taking their time. Hopefully this was helpful and informative. And then you should be hearing from your classroom teacher in a letter next week on who your child has for their teacher, along with some videos on what the inside of our school looks like. And we'll have our departure video. So feel free to reach out with any questions and thank you for your time. Bye, everyone.